Hey everyone, Reid Henrichs with Firearms. The purpose of this video today is to talk about firearms training during an ammo shortage. Let's go ahead and get started. If you've been paying attention in the last year, you'll know that ammunition is not apparently as available as it used to be. So how do you do firearms training? I know a lot of people out there have said, man, I really want to come out to the ridge and train with you. I just don't, ammo is really expensive. I get it. Well, this goes into the types of training that are out there. We basically divide training into two different types. There's high round count classes. There are places out there where you'll go and shoot a bunch of rounds. You'll shoot 1,000 rounds in 2 days or 2,000 rounds in 4 days or whatever it is. They're high round count classes. I have attended a lot of those classes, and quite honestly, guys, if you really know what you're looking for, I'm not bashing anybody in particular at all. I'm just saying that I've noticed is that in those high round count classes, there's not a lot of teaching going on. You'll go to those classes and you'll shoot a lot. You probably won't learn a lot. There's very minimal instruction that actually happens at a lot of those schools. So what I'm looking for is I don't need to do a lot of shooting. I don't need to have a lot of round counts. And the way I've structured the classes out here at Valley Ridge is we don't shoot a lot of rounds. If you look on our equipment list, it'll show you a certain number of rounds. I think it's like 500 rounds for most classes, 2 days, or 600. You're not even going to shoot half that. Nope, that's not you. Whose are these guys?
Mine, probably.
What's that?
Mine.
Okay, so we got nice high here, and look at that. We got an eyeball shot, right? Actually, these two. Did you take headshots?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are your headshots, Greg. You got one in the eye, and then one on the freaking sinus cavity. Like, that's a bad day right there. How about this guy right here? Look at that. We got an ocular cavity, another ocular cavity shot. Boy, guys, it doesn't get any better than that. That's phenomenal. And we know it's a shoot target, and you did some target discrimination on her. She didn't get shot. So you made a hostage shot right there. That's unbelievable. That's incredible marksmanship. Let's go to center fed. Actually, that's a no-shoot, wasn't it?
Yeah, just
Yes,
before
you guys did
hallway.
that. So let's check the T. Any better
Was
than
that
that,
you?
guys? Who
That
shot
was
this
Frank.
target right here?
That was Frank the Tank.
James.
Frank and James.
Look at that, guys. Look at 7.62 by 39 right there in the frickin' spine. 2 fingers apart, by the way. And then we got 2 eyeball shots on this guy right here. It doesn't get any better than that. We made a hit on a house or a structure. No shoot targets. You guys didn't shoot those. You made ocular cavity shots, spine box shots. You worked as a team, and you did it when the sun is going down in low light. It doesn't get any better than that. So you see the importance of the repetitions all day long. How many rounds do you think you fired all day?
I think a mag and a half, maybe.
Maybe
Yeah.
50 rounds?
Maybe, yeah. Not that much.
How much training did you get?
Whole hell of a lot.
So we made a box of 50 rounds, a box of rifle ammo, last all day long, guys.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
Especially for
Because we did
everything
not
we've
get anywhere
learned.
near the 400 rounds that this class
Oh
calls
no,
for.
I did that so you guys could go home and practice. And in all seriousness, that's the most we've shot in any class, CQB
Yeah.
class. 50 rounds is the most we've shot.
Oh,
Usually
yeah.
we're in the 20s.
As I say, normally it's not even a magazine.
But there's so much value there. I would be very wary of high round count stuff because there's not that much instruction going on. We've got to look at what we can do with this ammo, and it's all about the techniques. You guys, it couldn't do it any better. We want you guys to come out and have some left over so you can go home and practice. But certainly while you're out here, you're not going to even shoot probably even 50% of that round count. So the actual ammo expenditure is actually really low. We do a lot of dry fire. We do a lot of dry repetitions because the progression here has to be starting with dry fire in order to get your mechanics properly without wasting ammunition and creating a pile of brass on the ground. Very wasteful and very counterproductive. And also, when you're going out and practicing on your own, if you're shooting a lot of rounds, that's quite counterproductive. The real big shooters in this industry, the really good ones, are about, 70 to 80% dry fire to live fire. So in other words, for every 10 times they pull the trigger, they're dry firing 8 times and only pulling a trigger on a live round about 2 times out of those 10. And this is proportional. So what we'd like to do is we'd like to structure the modules so that you can do it dry first and then go into the live fire runs. That way you get your mechanics down and you get the proper repetitions. So for 2021 this year, we've got a lot of new classes and a lot of classes that we have helped make very efficient the modules and progression in that class. For example, one of the ones that's new for 2021 is Fire Team Tactics. And this is designed to operate in teams of 2, 3, and 4 individuals so that you can learn how to maneuver, learn how to bound, learn how to make movement with a small group of people over a field or even in a semi-urban environment. Very useful class. So that's not a heavy round count class. Other examples, neighborhood defense. That's not a high round count class as well, but there's a lot of learning. In fact, most of the students that have taken these classes said, man, I'm really, really glad that we didn't fire a lot of rounds, but we learned a ton. And when we did fire those live fire rounds, it was very beneficial and a lot of learning took place. So some of the best classes that I've ever taken, guys, I've been training now for 21 years. Some of the best classes that I've ever taken were very low round count. One of the best classes I ever took, I fired 24 rounds in 2 days. But I learned, and when I came back and applied those mechanics, it was like a next level. Like I increased a ton in my proficiency and my efficiency as well. And this year also at Valley Ridge, we've added a whole nother range where we've added a vehicle for vehicle bailouts. We've ordered some new targets there. We've also built all brand new barricades so we can really get into a lot of good modules. So many of you watching this that have already been out to the Ridge, you'll notice that there's not only a cosmetic change out at the Ridge, but we've also added a lot of new learning modules, a lot of good progression in our classes. So in short, everybody, you don't need to go out and shoot a bazillion rounds. And even if you purchase that case of ammo or that half case of ammo, it may seem expensive at first, but you can make ammunition last a long time if you structure your practice and your training modules effectively. And that's the mark of a teacher. And if you haven't taken a professional firearms class, I highly recommend that you do that, because in the long run, it's going to save you time, it's going to save you money, and it's going to save you a lot of frustration out there rather than trying to do it on your own. It takes a lot of that work out of the equation and helps make a much smoother improvement in your shooting and a lot of recalibration as far as your skill set and your approach to firearms training. If you found the information in the video helpful, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Facebook, that link is down below. And if you want to get some training, whether that's on your pistol or your rifle, come on out to Valley Ridge, we'd love to have you in class. This is Reid Henrichs of Valley Ridge reminding you, the lessons that we learn are written on the tombstones of others. We'll see you on the Ridge. We'll go and check the T intersection.